Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 23 days away from its official release by Disney, Lucasfilm, J.J. Abrams, and even creator George Lucas. That is all set and ready to end the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy itself. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, during this month of November, as we approach the very end of November, as we go into December, is where the marketing of this film is beginning to hit its peak, where we're getting a lot of new TV spots, a lot of brand new footage for the movie that gives us a better idea of exactly what connects to what. Now, in this video, we will also be tapping into spoilers, by the way. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, I do suggest that you guys back out of this video right now, but without further ado, let's get right into this. I want to go over 2 TV spots that unveil a good handful of brand new footage of the movie for characters like Rey, Kylo, Poe, Finn, Chewbacca, you name it, and among other environments in this film that's going to make an appearance. Now, with that being said, what's really intriguing has all to do with these new TV spots that dropped. I want to go over the first one, where we have a new shot of Finn, where he's literally yelling Rey. So in that particular shot where you do see Finn, he's actually yelling Rey on the top of his lungs once again. That seems like that's a tradition in the sequel trilogy, is to have Finn just yelling Rey constantly. And I think that's one thing that they should really dial down on. But that's just my own opinion. Moving on to the next shot, alright, I want to go over where Poe Dameron is actually said to be on the world of Pasaana. Now, on the world of Pasaana, we do see a strange ship here in the background. It looks like it's a new ship. I know some people were thinking maybe it's the Falcon. Doesn't seem like it's the Falcon. This is a brand new ship that most likely is Archie's ship. In case you guys have no idea who Archie really is, we actually went over this a couple of videos back, where Archie is actually said to be the very person that killed Rey's parents with the Sith dagger. And it's right underneath this ship where they actually discover the Sith dagger. The ship is actually said to be on top of a cave that they go inside of later on in the movie. Now, moving on forward through, we have Rey yelling on the top of her lungs, Chewie. Her literal, words. She just says Chewie on the top of her lungs, and she's yelling at that. It seems like things are in danger. This also ties directly into the previous leaks that we talked about, where there's going to be a flash fight sequence between both Rey and Kylo Ren on the desert world of Pasaana, where Kylo Ren is not really there, where he's actually going to fight Rey, where there's going to be a sequence in which they both begin to fight over the First Order shuttle that is trying to leave the atmosphere of Pasaana, where Chewbacca is actually a prisoner on board of that ship, where both Rey and Kylo Ren are force grabbing the actual ship backward, where eventually Rey is able to use Force lightning against that ship where it explodes. Now, once that happens, alright, it's a very interesting part, because the ship blows up, hits the ground, and we have a Chewbacca fake-out death, where Chewbacca actually is alive and well. Now, the next one that I want to go over, a very brief shot of Chewie inside of the Millennium Falcon. It's always nice to see Chewbacca, in the Falcon once again, giving us a nice callback to that of A New Hope, and how he was handled in Solo, A Star Wars Story, you name it. Now, this is where things begin to get rather interesting, because this is where both Rey, Poe, and Finn are actually inside of the Ravager Star Destroyer. This is the brand new Star Destroyer that belongs to Kylo Ren, and this is actually said to be quite around the same size as Supreme Leader Snoke's Supremacy. So it's a massive ship. They make their way onto the ship, and Rey uses the Jedi mind trick against some First Order troopers. Now, when the First Order troopers actually are getting the Jedi mind trick treatment by Rey, this is, of course, where we have another alternative shot, where we have Rey looking at the troopers as she uses that technique, and then moving on through, we have both Poe and Finn, where Poe says, "Has she used that on us?" And that line of dialogue, I feel, is a little cheesy. I think that they don't always have to say exactly what's going on through the character's dialogue, but that's just me. The next one is Rey literally inside of Kylo Ren's chambers attacking Kylo Ren. This is actually said to take place during one of the flash fights, where she's not really on board of the Ravager. Then we get a nice new alternative shot of Kylo Ren's new TIE fighter over the desert world of Pasana flying through, where we also have a shot of Kylo Ren's new helmet with a Knight of Ren scene in the background, where you do see some smoke to the right portion of the screen. That smoke, by the way, is created by the Forger. He's basically putting together Kylo Ren's helmet once again. This is the moment in the Dark Spire where Kylo Ren puts the helmet on for the very first time. And lastly, we have both Rey and Kylo Ren fighting inside of the second Death Star wreckage, where Palpatine's throne room once was. It's a very interesting set of footage, I will add, and I want to actually go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Disney and Lucasfilm are actually planning to really make the marketing of Episode 9 a whole lot more, interesting when it comes to some of the shots that are going to make its way into the movie. That's actually going to be, everything surrounding Rey, Kylo Ren, you name it. Now, the thing about Episode 9 here is that they really are trying to make this by far the darkest Star Wars film there is out of the entire Skywalker saga. I don't know about you, but to me, I feel like that you just cannot top Revenge of the Sith. There's no way of topping that movie because of what actually happened in it. But from the footage that I'm actually seeing here, there are elements of, quite, dark tones, such as Kylo Ren putting the helmet on for the first time with the Knights of Ren behind him while they're inside of the Dark Temple. Now, the new footage, I must add, it's very impressive, but there are some of the pieces of footage that just don't impress me. One of the TV spots has all three characters yelling, on the top of their lungs about another character. You have Finn yelling Rey, you have Poe yelling Rey, then you have Rey yelling Chewie. It's a little overdone in my opinion, and it kind of reminds me of that one little clip that we got on Good Morning America where they say they fly now 3 different times. Where in the TV spot now, you have them yelling on the top of their lungs 3 times in a row. Whoever's putting together these clips, I feel they need to really just kind of create something a little bit more dramatic and less comedic moments in there. I feel that one of the comedy bits in the new footage that I just don't really like too much is where she uses the Jedi mind trick on the First Order troopers, and then Poe Dameron says, something around the lines of, has she used that on us? And it's just a little strange to me. It's something that you would not expect to see in the original trilogy. When Obi-Wan Kenobi used it, right, in Star Wars A New Hope against those troopers where they were on board of the speeder, Luke didn't say anything about the Jedi mind trick. He just sat there and watched Obi-Wan Kenobi pulling that, power of his as a Jedi. And it's kind of like imagining if Luke just said to 3PO or somebody else, has he done that to me? It just doesn't really work well with me, at least. I don't know about you guys, but that scene was just a little, just a little out there and just did not fit the overall tone. But the other piece that really does spark an interest, I will add, is where both Rey and Kylo Ren are fighting inside of the second Death Star. If you guys actually watch the footage, which by the way, it is online, I'll try to link them below, there is a segment in which she just misses Kylo Ren's chest, where she swipes her lightsaber right across Kylo Ren. Just misses him. Now, we do know that there's going to be a moment in this film on the very top of the second Death Star wreckage in which Rey is going to stab Kylo Ren through the chest. Keep in mind that this is not the exact moment in which that actually happens. This is actually the moment before they go on top of the second Death Star wreckage. So first, it's within the actual Death Star, then it's on top of the wreckage itself where the final battle takes place, where Kylo Ren is left for dead. So it's going to be a very interesting experience to see how the fans are going to react to everything that's going to be told in this movie by JJ, and how it's really going to work well with fans or not work well with fans. I think it's going to be a very interesting experience to see how this compares to that of The Last Jedi. Coming out of The Last Jedi and the issues that I personally had, I'm really just hoping for the best. I really am. I'm still a Star Wars fan at the end of the day, but I do find a lot of flaws coming out of this movie so far from what we have been hearing, a lot of bad decisions by Disney and Lucasfilm that we have been talking about, that just spells a recipe for disaster. And the last thing I just want to tap into here real quick is that we are going to be getting new TV spots every single, 3 to 4 days, give or take, and that's going to total up to around maybe 15 TV spots in total, so it's a little less than what we received for the TV spots with The Last Jedi, and that's all by JJ. He doesn't want to reveal as much, which is a good thing. We don't want to see the entire movie, but Anyways, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this new set of footage for The Rise of Skywalker, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.